Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joe Sengel, joined as always by my co-host Megan Hibbard. Are you fired up today?
Fired up.
It's Monday.
Monday.
And
great day.
And people that watch the podcast notice something's different.
It took you a minute to figure it out.
A minute. Maybe should we tell them? The people that are watching, they know. Those aren't, go watch it on YouTube and you'll find out something is different with Megan. Anyhow, we're going to talk today about what?
Yes. So today we are talking about how to create a budget in Excel.
Yeah. One for like your family. Yeah. We hear the word budget for the national budget and the U.S. budget and that we have one or we need one. This is about your family having a budget. And so this can be great. This is what we would call a bread and butter of everything that we're about here at Fully Funded Life, and be able to help you really win with your money, maximize every single dollar, and live your fully funded life. And so we like to make things simple, easily manageable. We fight for simplicity. And so the first step, if you want to create a personal budget that actually works, you have to do this. What's that?
Yep. So step one is prepare a list of all your expected income and expenses for keyword upcoming month.
Yes. So there's a big key here of before the month begins, you've got to prepare this list of your expected income, your expected expenses. And we always get these questions that go with that. You know, what if I don't know exactly what the bill's going to be? You know, it's a power bill or it's something they've been told the bill's coming, but they don't know exactly what it is. Well, we're going to get to that at the end with some budget tips. So don't miss that. So the first step, though, is to sit down before the month actually begins and say how much income's going to show up and what are our expenses? What's it going to take to operate our family? And then we're going to take a next step. Step number 2 is the what?
Yep. So step number 2 is to enter your income and expenses into the free budget tool, which is located on our website. So you can go to iwasbrokenowimnot.com. You can click on resources and tools. And the thing I really love about this is we list a ton of stuff. So I know, like, for me, if I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, okay, let's think through all of my expected expenses. What am I going to spend money on this month? Birthdays, all that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily remember all of them the first time you're doing it, but this list is very extensive. And so it goes through a lot of them that you can be like, oh yeah, I need to pay that. Or, oh yeah, that's going to happen this month. Or that's not happening until next month, so I don't have to worry about it. But it gives you ideas for you being able to remember what's happening.
Yeah. And you may have unique expenses that are just related to your family, so that we got some other categories in there too, and you can just type over the word other. We say enter them into this template, this budget template, because a pencil and paper and a calculator still work, but you'll end up feeling like you're stuck in a math exercise because I don't know if you know this, but usually there's more month than there is money. Dave Ramsey made that statement famous, and you're going to end up having to make adjustments. And if you have to do that by hand with a calculator, number one, you could make an error typing stuff in. That can happen. But number 2, you will find yourself drowning in that math exercise and spending huge amounts of time that is just totally unnecessary. I mean, newsflash, Bill Gates invented great spreadsheet called Microsoft Excel. Google Drive has it. It's available everywhere, and it will do the math for you.
I don't like math.
Yeah.
I don't like it one bit.
You don't like it?
I mean, I don't mind it.
I like the results of it.
I like, I don't know, things that there's like a formula and it makes sense to me. But there's other than like we're adding letters in there and there's numbers and there's this. And I don't know, why are we doing that? Let's just keep it simple. So this does it for you.
It does it for you. And speaking of formulas, that's really step number 3. So once we've typed in all the income and the outgo, it doesn't matter if it matches, it equals. This is where we make that happen. Step number 3 is that famous formula.
Yep.
Remind everybody what it is.
Income minus outgo equals exactly 0.
Trademark. And that's trademark because the E from exactly, the Z from 0 means it's easy. Get it? Ding, 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 ding. See, your whole goal in this budget is to really do a very simple thing, and that is to make sure that the outgo of your household does not exceed your income, or else your upkeep will be your downfall. Get fired up. Yep. But here's what we want you to know. is that outgo includes spending money, intentionally spending money into your savings and into your investments. It does not mean that all of the money departs from you. The whole goal is to give investing dollars a name and list it as an outgo item, because your plan is not to actually, you want to spend it into those accounts. It's in a way of intentionally funding those things that you say are important to you. How long would you tell somebody who's putting together their first budget, they're watching this, and they're like, I'm willing to try this, I like the sound of the budget template. How long should they plan to get all those numbers put together, get them into the budget, and get it to equal exactly zero trademark? How long till it's easy?
I mean, I feel like if you are a semi-organized person, you could do it in an hour.
Okay.
What would you say?
I was going to say it's about an hour.
Yeah.
I was going to say a half hour if you had all your numbers together, hour and a half if you don't. But the whole key is, that you get access to your numbers, pull up those credit card statements, pull all that stuff up. And then we want to make sure that you make it equal exactly zero. Of course, then step number 4 is the hardest. So steps 1 through 3, we're getting the budget. Step number 4 is what?
Yep. So you want to live according to the easy budget.
Yeah, you got to live according to it.
Yep.
Like if you prepare a budget and you make it equal exactly zero and you spend this hour of your life preparing something that maybe isn't that exciting, may not be as energizing as watching your favorite show, playing with your kids, throwing the ball with the dog. We're not purporting this to be anywhere as exciting as any of that. But if you're going to spend that time doing this, then you should live according to it. And that's really important. And so we wanted to give you some budget tips that will help you live according to budget. And the first tip is one that is so important, and that is what?
Yeah, so you need to be realistic. You don't want to lie to yourself when you're creating this budget. Your family cannot survive on $50 for a grocery. You cannot survive, if you have kids and it's summertime, you cannot survive on $0 for entertainment. Like, it's just not realistic. Your kids, you're going to drive each other crazy. So you need to make sure when you're doing this, making sure you're being realistic. Not, you don't need $1,000 grocery bill, but how can we rein it in? We
wanted to list this one. Sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
But I was so fired up about this fact of don't lie to yourself. We included this because all of us are susceptible to lying to ourselves when we prepare our first budget. You probably stumbled across this podcast, this video, because you're trying to get a budget together. Yeah. And usually when people are trying to put together a budget, they're doing so out of strong emotions. Negative emotions, frustration or anger. And when we're frustrated, when we're angry, we tend to lie to ourselves. And so don't do that, because if you put together a budget that is unrealistic, $50 for groceries, like you said, for the month, that's just not going to happen. And you won't be able to follow it, and you'll have just wasted your time. The second tip is to use cash envelopes for impulsive spending categories. There are areas of your budget you will not impulsively spend money. Like, I have never impulsively spent money on gasoline. Have you ever impulsively spent money on power bill? No. But clothing?
Yes.
Entertainment? Restaurants?
Yeah.
Right? All those things. So we listed them. We'll put them on the screen here real quick. Take a screen grab. Groceries, restaurants, clothing, entertainment, spending money. How do cash envelopes work? Well, we'll put a link to one of our Monday Money Tip podcast episodes showing you exactly how that works. But the whole key is that you're using cash money so that you do not overspend. That when the money is gone, the planned money in the budget, you pull it out, you use that money. When it's gone, you stop spending in those categories until there's a replenishment with a new budget. Whole key to that. You put away the credit cards, the debit cards, and do not overspend on those categories. Yep. The third tip is what?
Yeah, so you want to automate when possible. So bills, saving, investments, giving, all of these things you can usually automate.
It's amazing. Like when I grew up, none of this was possible. You could not automate these things. I literally sat at my desk and I automated one of our bills through the end of the year because it's a nuisance to me. It's one that's kind of out here. It's over here. It's not with the normal. And every month I'm like panicked. Did I remember that one? Did I remember that one? Then I sat there and I said, why have I not automated this? This is so dumb. I've automated everything else. And so I literally sat and automated it. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So all of your bills, savings, investments, and getting, the reason most people will not automate today is because they don't have margin. And that's why we teach in the Fully Funded Life Ladder that the first step is write down your plans, hopes, and dreams. Second, hey, get that savings of a month worth of expenses saved up, that margin, which allows you to automate wherever possible. Okay, we have a couple more tips. Let's go so that we can get them out there before our 10-minute deadline.
The next one is to put away the credit card if you can't control your spending.
Yeah, if the credit card is not the problem, it is an enabler of an impulsivity problem that us spenders have.
Right.
And so if you cannot control it, and you know, here's your way of knowing whether or not you can control it. If you carry a balance that you cannot pay off every month, you can't control it. You need to put them away. Hey, you may have to do what I did for 6 years, and that is to cut them up and close the accounts. I know somebody may have fainted, but you can live without a credit card. And I thought I was cutting off my lifeline, and I was actually cutting off my shackles. The Lord has loosed every fetter. Get fired up. Did you know I was going to say fetter in this podcast?
I did not.
Give one other one. You're married. I'm married.
Yep.
Give the tip to the married folks.
Yep. So if you're married, make sure to include your spouse in the planning so you get better involvement. You just can't do this without having your spouse and you on the same page. And I know a lot of people aren't on the same page. So we have resources for that we can include too. But getting on the same page, making sure you're both going in the same direction, key.
Hey, we're not saying you have the exact same dreams.
No.
You're on shared dreams. But you need to collaborate together on this budget, because the budget conversation really is about your life and your life together, and about your shared plans, hopes, and dreams, and those individual ones. And if you want to get a new level of unity in your marriage relationship, when you conversate every month about this budget, well, you will be on your way. Maybe we can include one other tip, a bonus tip. You ready? Prepare a budget monthly. Every month, revisit it and update it. If you do not, well, not every month is created equally, and you will slowly but surely have drift. And so prepare the budget together every month before the month begins. When you do that, you'll be on your way to great financial success. Hey, thanks so much for being a part of this podcast. We always are passionate about helping you live your fully funded life. Have a great week, everybody. Hey everybody, Joe Sangl here. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hey, I encourage you to click the links that are provided to watch a lot of more helpful content that'll help you live your fully funded life. Thanks for being a part of our community.